Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Please go ahead and subscribe and like my videos and comment on my videos so we can grow this channel together. And our topic for today is to give some more interview advice. And we're going to talk about topics in interviews that are usually not talked about. Okay, so I've googled a lot of different interview tips, but these specific ones I haven't been able to find anywhere online. So let's talk about the untalkable. Okay, so the first tip I want to talk about is your handshake. So we all know your handshake needs to be firm, it needs to be assertive, it needs to be to show that you are confident. Make sure your hands or your palms are not sweaty. I know walking into an interview, you're very nervous and a lot of us get sweaty palms. So go ahead and just wipe them off with tissues or something so that way your palms are not sweaty or they're not too greasy from lotions or from anything like that. Make sure your hands are clean, they feel clean to the touch, and so that way when you shake the other person's hand, your hand is just perfect. It doesn't show that you're nervous, and it's giving the right impression that you want your handshake to give. Okay, next is how do you sit? So whether you're a male or female, you do not want to cross your legs, okay? Crossing your legs may sometimes give the impression that you're a little bit arrogant, depending on which way your legs are and things like that. Just to be safe, you want to keep your legs, both of them, at, down, like just like my picture is. You want to keep your feet on the ground and you want to have a straight back. Okay, you want to make sure that your shoulders are straight like this, like mine. And I want you to be really confident and just be sitting upright. Your back is all the way in the back of the chair. Your bottom is in the bottom of the chair, just in the right spot. And the first thing you want to do after you shake this person's hand is to sit down and situate yourself just right so you won't have to be moving the whole time during the interview. Okay, so make sure you're comfortable, but you're sitting in a way that exudes how confident you are and that you are a real professional. Okay, next is your eyes. So keeping eye contact is really important because it does say a lot about your credibility. So if I look at you in the eyes like this, okay, as I'm saying something or answering a question, it says that I'm confident and I'm telling the truth. And this is a psychological thing. If I'm um, telling a story, if I'm answering a question and my eyes are like looking down or looking at the walls or the ceilings or whatever, it says that I pretty much have no clue what I'm talking about, or I'm embarrassed, or that I am lying. So you want to keep your eye contact really established during your interview. Okay, if you have multiple interviewers, you want to give each one of these people their fair share of eye contact. So whenever you're answering a question, you want to look into all of their eyes. And if you don't feel comfortable looking into their eyes, you could look in this middle section right here between their eyebrows and just talk to them that way. But you really want to establish eye contact. Next is if you are in transition mode between one question and the next, and let's say you're thinking about what you want to say in the next question, still keep eye contact, but you want to change your eyes so that they exude a very faint smile. And please do not look up in the ceiling like this if you are thinking of what to say, and don't look down. Don't look nervous. You should still be looking in their eyes. And I'm going to talk soon in this video about thinking time in case you're asked a question that you are not prepared for, or if you just need some time to think what to do at that point. Okay, but eye contact is very important. Next, what I have for us is hand gestures. So a lot of people from like Mediterranean backgrounds, from Middle Eastern backgrounds like me, we like to use our hands a lot when we're talking because we feel like this gets the meaning across better to use your hands. Using hand gestures is good, but you don't want to overdo it, and especially you don't want to be using your entire arm to gesture things for people because it just shows that you're really professional. So what you want to do, you want to make sure that when you're using your hands and your arms to express yourselves, that you're only moving the piece from your arm, your elbow, all and this whole area to your wrist and hand. This is all you can move. We're not gonna move our whole arm around because this is not gonna look professional. And unless you need to, unless you're describing something and you really need to get that meaning across by using your whole arm. Otherwise, do not use your entire arm when you are explaining something. And next is you want to keep all of your hand gestures at chest level and lower chin level. You don't want to go like this because it just shows that um, you are not very organized as a person and you don't have your hand gestures pre-planned before coming in. So it doesn't really exude a lot of professionalism. So make sure that your hand gestures are about chest level, and this is assuming that you're sitting down. If you're standing up for any reason, like if you're lecturing or if you're talking and you just have to be standing, you want to keep them at like your waist level and chest level. Okay. So you don't want to have your hand gestures going too crazy because you also don't want to scare your interviewers. They don't want to feel like your arm is going to make its way to their faces or to hurt them in any way. You want to keep your hand gestures calculated, very professional, and you want to make sure they are, if you're sitting down, which you most likely will be, at chest level like this. Maybe if you want to explain a length of something, you go like this, like it was this big, okay, whatever. But you don't want to go too crazy, okay? And most of your hand gestures are going to be with your palms flat like this. So you can say, thank you, or you can do this, you can explain something like this, you can make your hands like that, you can do this if you want to explain yourself. And again, this is all done at chest level. So let's not get too crazy with the hands, but hand gestures are important because they do emphasize whatever you are talking about. Okay, so they are important, and this is a way to get the person's attention, but you still don't want to overdo it. Okay, you want to have calculated hand gestures, and a really good way is to practice in front of the mirror or in front of the camera before you start talking, so that way you can see how you're performing with those hand gestures. If in doubt, don't use hand gestures and just keep your hand like this, maybe on your lap, and just talk like you usually do and just be confident. Okay, the next tip is thinking time. So, thinking time is going to be really important because we are not robots. Even if you walk into your interview and you're 100% prepared, you're still going to need your thinking time, okay? You need it to get yourself together, to reflect really quickly on something you said, to make connections, to just know what to say next. So let's say that I'm asked a question and I need to think a little bit. Please do not talk, do not start answering a question unless you feel like you're prepared. So your thinking time is going to take you about 10 to 45 seconds at most. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep looking into your interviewer's eyes, but you're going to make your eyes kind of like smiling eyes. So I'm going to show you the difference between angry eyes, like serious eyes, okay? So even without moving my lips, without doing any other facial expressions, my angry, serious eyes, like bored, angry, my smiling eyes, I like bright, Okay, so I'm gonna have like bright, smiling eyes looking at my interviewer. Okay, and I'm at the same time going to think. And I don't want you during your thinking time to go like, I don't know. Just you can maybe say a kind of a long, well. So this is what I do. So the word well is a lot better than saying or what, you know. So you just want to say well, and the whole time you're saying the word well, you're gonna be thinking. So you have to be really quick, right? Because you don't want to think for a really long time. Your interviewer is going to get bored and they're going to think that you're not prepared. So you want to say something like, well, and raise your eyebrows to show that you're confident and that you are just giving it a little bit of thinking time. So this is how I would do it. Maybe I would clasp my hands like this, put them on my lap, look into my interviewer's eyes with like bright, excited eyes that I'm excited to answer the question. I'm confident at the same time. And I'm going to say, oh, well, and I'm going to pause a little bit and then I'm going to answer the question. So thinking time is really important. All right. So, what, right? So, a lot of us, when we're in an interview, let's say one of my interviewers is asking me a question and I have no idea what he's talking about. So, you immediately start to panic and you're like, oh my gosh, they're not going to take me because I didn't know what the question is talking about. I didn't understand what he just said or the terminology. So, you're not going to say, what? I don't know, right? You're not going to say that and show that you don't know. You are just politely going to say, uh, well, would you please explain that again? Or you can say, would you please reword this? Or I might need a little refresher on these words, but would you please reword this question? I would be happy to answer it for you. And you still want to have that tone of your voice that you're excited, you are happy to be here, you really want to answer this question, but you just need a little bit of a clarification about what this question is talking about. But I don't want you to freak out and just answer a random answer because you don't know what the question was. Because trust me, a lot of people would rather look like they know everything they're talking about than to ask. And you need to ask, okay? And for you to ask during an interview, it's just fine if they decide to go with you and to take you, that will show them that you're not afraid to ask, which is a great quality. Okay, let's say they decide not to take you in this job, at least you will have learned something that you will use for the next job interview. So don't think of this as the end of the world, because this will be a lot better than you answering this question in a completely wrong way because you just did not want to look like you didn't know, and you did not want to ask for clarification. So definitely ask for clarification. Don't be embarrassed about it, but the way you ask for clarification makes a huge difference. Okay, so let's say I make a mistake during my interview. I don't want to say oops. I don't want to like completely panic, right? I'm still gonna have this confidence. I'm still sitting the way that I showed you guys, with your feet on your ground and your hands like this on your lap, or your hands out on both laps like that. And you just want to look into the eyes of your interviewer. So even if you make a mistake, don't look down like you're embarrassed. We all make mistakes. I'm pretty sure your interviewers have made mistakes in the past. So just say, oh, I'm sorry about that. This is what I meant to say. Okay. And still smile while you are fixing your mistake, because it's a lot better to take this moment to like smile about it and take it in a light, positive way than for you to feel negative about it, embarrassed about it, and for you to just, let that freak you out during an interview. So just take it as a chance to show them how you handle problems on the spot. Okay. So you can say something like, oh, I'm sorry, I meant to say this, or let me clarify. I'm sorry, I meant to say this, or let me reword it. Let me reword what I said. Okay. Something like that. But never say oops, never like, do this to yourself. No. Allow yourself to make mistakes, but learn from them and show them that you know how to adapt to fixing your mistakes on the spot. That's going to be really, really important. The last tip I want to give you is to be yourself. And by being yourself, I mean be the best version of yourself, the best you, right? So, what I want to mention to you guys is during an interview, you really want to be yourself by telling a story that's unique about you. Okay. And you can take the opportunity of the tell me about yourself question or any other question to tell them a little story about yourself. This story has to be short, you have to be descriptive, okay, about what happened in the story and about how being a part of this story makes you a better candidate for this job, or how it made you love this field more, or how it made you appreciate your job more. Okay, but just make your interview a little bit more personal, because this is going to have those really small ligaments that will attach you to this job and help your interviewer feel like you're gonna fit really well, because they're going to feel like they know you. So, walking into your interview, I want you to know that those interviewers are people just like you and me. And sometimes they may feel threatened by this person because they don't know you. They don't know who you are, right? You can be anybody. So, breaking the ice here is going to be really important, and you have to choose what personal quality you want to reveal about yourself depending on what job you're interviewing for, right? So you want to give them a personal story that had to do with your job. Like if you're a teacher, a personal story could be dealing with a certain student and how that made you feel and how that made you appreciate your job more, something like that, to make those interviewers feel like they're close to you. And as you're talking about this personal story, it's really a good idea to use your hand gestures to like um do like this, so that the interviewer would feel like this is something personal and like close to your heart. So by you using your hands, so like touch your chest a little bit like that, like the upper area of your chest, you're telling them it's something really personal, and that really helps the interviewer see you as a normal person, like a friend, like a really close colleague, and that is going to break this ice that you sometimes feel walking into the interview room. A lot of times people have said to me that they walk in and if they feel like they're already attacked, because you don't know these people, where they're coming from, what kind of impression they have about you after reading about resume or whatever. So you want to make them feel like they are close to you and that they know you and that you are a genuine good human that could be a part of their work family. Okay, so that is going to be really, really important. And if you don't have a personal story, being yourself and cracking that ice, right, could be in something as small as just telling them a joke, making them laugh, but it has to be a really calculated joke or something really small, okay? You don't want to be the jokester and keep, cracking jokes the whole interview, but just something to make them feel like they are belonging to you. Okay, so those were my interviews for today, my interview tips for today. I hope I was able to benefit you. Again, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, write any comments that you have for me, and write down any ideas in the comment section about upcoming videos or about any questions that you have for me. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.